Hey everybody, welcome to Zotian Epoch, episode 10. Um, Thank you so much for watching this stream. Um, can't believe we've got to 10 episodes. It's really cool. Thank you to the players, especially for allowing this to happen as well. I couldn't do it without you. So, where we last left off, the party was in the dungeon. They've done multiple days of cleaning it up. They've claimed it for their own. This place is now up to them to do with what they want. We join the group, including Crasted and a rug, down in the dungeon. Shui and Acaris are in tow. They've been shown this stuff and have been helping out. Um, Crew, I leave it to you.
Hmm. So, I believe we were waiting. I think, what was it? Guardian was going to show the other two about the hidden doors with the red buton.
Yeah, they haven't seen that yet. They've been just helping you around the dungeon, making the carcasses, the mud, the blood and the burns and the shattered things gone from the place, making it a much more comfortable, though still cramped, location to be in.
Yeah, I imagine the Guardian would take them to, like, obviously probably, like, the closest door and just kind of, like, pulling out the buton will, like, show them. It's like, we found out while we were trying to explore this place that certain areas can only be seen if you hit this little button right here. As she pulls out the button, and just to kind of show him, she'll like press the button.
Okay. Let's say you're in the top left of the map. As you do that, yeah, I'm gonna bring you all to the dungeon map. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
There. So you're up at the door, or at that room that has a stone wall that is also a door. In the corner of this room, Guardian's standing there. It seems like you're just at the end of a hallway. But when she presses this red button, the chunk of wall in front of her sort of fades away in front of her. And ahead of her is a room about 25 by 25 feet. Has no windows, has no any features at all, really. A blank canvas, as if you will. Pulling you all to the scene, by the way.
Also, a thing that I think we should probably figure out for later, especially when it comes to these doors, I guess we could call them. I think throwing on maybe like some curtains or a fresh coat of paint to mark the doors, essentially.
Are they illusions? Or are they... I've never seen this before.
They, from what we can tell, they appear to be a part of the structure itself. Like, they're not illusions per se. They seem to be hidden, but hidden in plain sight, if that's the best way I can understand it.
So, if we were to attempt to touch the wall while the button's not pushed, it would just feel like a regular wall?
She kind of nods in the affirmative.
Pretty
And
much.
she'll press the button again to shut the door, and then just kind of when the door shuts, she gestures to show them, like, go ahead and touch it.
Yep, the stonework fades into existence after you press it, and Guardian gestures at the door.
That can be very useful, actually.
Indeed.
Leo'll like walk up and tap on it with his quarterstaff. Just
Sounds like any
See?
other stone.
also, as a fair warning, just to mention this because it should be mentioned. If the button is pressed when you're on this side, you're kind of stuck. So
Which is
So-
why I think if we're going to claim certain parts of the ship for ourselves, this location for ourselves, ignore said ship. That we should be careful about choosing the rooms that require this device.
Is there only one of these, or can we make another one that we know of, or something?
There's a second one, but but it seems to take us to a different location rather than opening the doors.
It's a bit different.
Yeah, the second button is very different. This one, I mean, I don't know a single person who could possibly remotely create another button like this one. As he's like gesturing to the one Guardian has. When it comes to that one, we don't even know how it works. We just know it's a button. And it's not like we know any. I mean, it's not like I know any powerful mages, I guess.
Well, now that I think about it, I suppose I could try my hand at studying it, see if I could come up with anything. But should we?
I know there's this wizard I know. I met him like once, and he had a spell to like reveal the secrets behind things. I don't know. It was vague and unhelpful. He was also, kind of pompous for being and known for being the smartest person in the room. And a stick up his ass.
Should we show them what the other button does?
Yeah, so I will make sure to mention this beforehand. Do not panic. I panicked, and it didn't help. Like, holy crap. Yeah,
It's
you'll
just keep
see
in mind
it when you see it.
it'll be maybe quite difficult to comprehend.
It's
Just-
real tricky.
Just to be sure, these sorts of places have a bunch of traps usually. Are you sure you cleared them all out before we
Yes.
proceed?
We cleared, and me especially, we made clear, we made very clear that this entire dungeon is more or less safe. It's not the safest place on Earth, here, but, it's, safer than it was when we first found it.
I don't know if I like that answer. You sound so unsure, but sure.
I
Well,
mean,
it's
now,
still an
from
acid pit,
from the
is
from
what
the
I'm
limited
talking about.
from the limited experience I have with Leah here, I trust his judgment. if he thinks it's relatively safe, then I trust him.
I'll put it to you this way: on a scale of, I don't know, of safety of 1 to 10, it's like an 8, and that's -1 for the acid pit.
So what other danger is here apart from the?
Technically, the other danger is the other button. If
Okay,
somebody
so-
were to find it and push it with knowing what it does and some other things, we'd be in some deep shit.
So you're going to press the button that is supposedly gets us all killed, just to show us what it does.
No.
No,
It
no,
doesn't
no, no.
kill us. It just moves us.
Do you
It's,
know where?
Sort of.
it's
God.
just like I imagine as just like a general gesture. She's not 100% sure, but she just points straight up.
To the roof?
No,
The
so-
surface?
The sky.
Great and glorious Dungeon Master. Zocheclgoth has a moon, right?
It
Or
does.
2.
A few.
So the way I understand it, this might be a little weird to wrap your head around because even I can't wrap my head around it.
You're literally
The
wrapped in that.
moon? It takes us to the moon.
Yeah,
Back again,
right.
no, no, no.
Nice joke.
I can't say whether it is actually the moon, but from what I can, I guess, piece together from what I understand, yeah, the moon. Or at least a moon. I turned to Guardian and Sebastian, and I'm like, they're not gonna believe it unless they see it, so, I mean, might as well show them now.
As they walk, Shui leans over to Acaris and just, in a stage whisper, loudly says, I thought I had drunken rants. That made no sense.
Honestly, your drunken rants are less comprehensive as these. So-
Shush.
You still owe me money. Shush.
Party, are you making your way over to the room where the button is?
Yes,
Okay.
we are making our way there.
Do you want to walk it, or let's just speed up time and get you over there?
Speed up time.
Speed up,
That'll be
speed up
faster.
time. That's always a good idea.
Speed walk.
Nyom.
Nyong.
So,
Wow, that's real weird.
so the group makes
So
1 minute. The group makes their way over to the room to the far right corner of the dungeon. As you're in there, you see a bunch of metallic cabinets. They've been blown apart, shredded. There's ropes coming out of the cabinets. There seems to be broken crystals kind of spilling out of some of them. In the center of the room, there's a crater. You've seen this crater when you were coming in and cleaning up the rubble. One of the metal cabinets at the skinny end of the room is only partially destroyed. On top of it is a red ruby-looking crystal, polished, almost round, but sort of oval, recessed into a metallic surround. It's artful. You've not seen metal of this kind of craft before. It's very similar to the smaller one that Guardian carries.
Huh. Curious. Could surely walk over to the cupboards and the ruined surfaces and just inspect them briefly.
Of course. Would you like to make a roll?
Yes, please.
Okay. How about an investigation?
Investigation coming right up.
Investigate.
As you're looking around in this cabinet, in these cabinets, you notice that some of the crystals look like they slot into places. Some of them are far too damaged to do anything, but there are some in the dark, deep recesses of the cabinet that are indeed in place and glowing. They are like a soft, almost pastel yellow, orange, green, all kinds of different things. They're sort of smoky looking. The wires, or the ropes in front of you are wrapped in what looks like wire, like you would make an earring out of. That's what you discover inside.
Okay, have you guys actually looked at this thing here, or?
They have.
Yeah. We spent hours in here, and even I have still spent hours in here the past couple days looking through all of this. None of it makes sense.
Well, have you tried, seeing if this works somehow, or how does it? I wonder.
Leo will walk up to it and just be like, from what we understand, this is what this does. And he puts his hand and pushes the button.
Leo, you press the button, and as you do, Shui and Epicurus, you feel kind of sick to your stomach. This affects the rest of the crew as well, but it's your first time experiencing it. It's a bit of a hit to the body. The room around you begins to sort of melt, sort of shift to the side. Things don't seem quite right. Colors begin to dim. Gamma begins to get more increased. The ground
Increased
underneath
gamma.
you, the ground underneath you begins shaking and rumbling. After a few moments of this, so it feels like you're about to puke, but it all stops. Everything returns to normal. All that's left is a bit of a dizziness in your head, and the ground underneath you has a low but steady hum that was not there before.
Julie kind of
So-
bends over a little, hands on her
Yeah.
knees, and just
Yeah,
burps.
we were like that first too. that was us our first time too. It was
Not
was
quite a
an-
pleasant feeling.
yeah, no. Doesn't feel right, especially in the stomach. It feels ugh. Anyways. So you know that other blocked door that we showed you a little ways back? The one that didn't work for the button. Leah would have
Okay.
said, like, we would have shown you all of these places, like, over the course of the past couple days.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
All of you
Let's
have seen
go
this place in its
there.
entirety. Okay.
Before that, why don't we show them just to really drive
I think
home
it
the
would
point?
be better
Okay.
to show them the inside first, and then show them what's outside.
I will let you deliberate.
That's just my opinion. If we want to show them what's outside first, let's do that, by all means. I just think showing them the inside first would be more practical, because even we haven't seen all of the inside. Arug and Karasted are with us, right?
Yes. They're just kind of milling
Um,
about doing tidying tasks.
Yeah.
I
So
suppose whatever they are comfortable with.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Guardian, what do you think?
Kind of thinks about it for a moment. It's just whatever you think is right.
Fashion will just turn to the other two, Akaris and Shui. Well, what would you prefer?
Would you like to see the inside or the outside first?
Kind of, Shui just shares a look with Akaris. And shrugs, just nods at him like, your pick. I don't mind inside or outside, for that matter.
Akaris, it's your call, I guess, since nobody else cares.
Why not? Chris is
Outside?
kind of like, yeah.
Okay. Should we show them the hole in the roof or the window?
I think the hole in the roof first might be a good idea.
Just a small
That
glimpse.
doesn't structurally sound.
Just a small glimpse first.
Moving y'all now.
Just keep in
Yeah,
mind, as we said, what you see may be difficult to take in.
Yeah.
Chewie, ahead of you is the end of a hallway. There is a ladder attached to the wall. The ladder goes vertically up into the ceiling.
Okay. He starts to climb up first if nobody else does.
Okay.
Curious to see what the whole hype about.
The ceiling above you is just a square open into blackness. As you climb up, the blackness expands around you. At first you think you're going into what could be a dungeon. It's how it appears. When you look around, you begin to see there's sparkles within this darkness. You see a night sky. And when you turn your head around to look, you see a giant orb. Green, blue, brown, covered in wispy smoke. A bit of a haze around it. You've seen maps of your home before. You can see the continent that you call home below you. It looks like the entire map of Zocheclgoth is wrapped around an orb below you.
Fun fact, flat earthers will be mad.
I think Shui would kind of just, as soon as she pokes her head out and takes it all in, stop in her tracks, like halfway through the hall, kind of clogging it, and just becomes speechless. And just wide-eyed look at everything. Just take it all in. And wonder if she can feel any sort of arcane or divine, I don't know, residue here? Like, what is all this?
How would you like to roll an Arcana check?
That's not my strong suit, but sure. Why not? Yup, that's not my strong suit.
She rolled a 6, by the way, everyone. Shui, as she looks around, in awe, a bit confused by the sight that she's seeing. She tries to reach out and feel if there's any magic to this, if perhaps it's an illusion of some sort. She feels nothing. Nothing of importance, nothing different. She could be looking at the grass in front of her feet on a spring day. Wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah. I should really lay off the alcohol. I'm starting to see hallucinations.
No, that's all real.
Directly in front of you, outside of the where the ladder goes up, there's a bit of stone above the portal that you're climbing through. That's where the ladder ends. It just kind of goes straight up. Around you is a completely flat stone surface. It looks like the ceiling of the dungeon is just splayed out around you. A big old rectangle. When you look behind, you see that this rectangle is jammed into the side of a giant boulder. Not really a boulder, more like a mountain. This is a huge piece of stone that this structure is just kind of jutting out. It seems attached. This isn't moon size, but it's a significant piece of stone.
Yeah, Chris, have you ever seen something like this? Maybe read about it? Cause I'm kinda disturbed and overwhelmed right now. I need your brain.
Hey, she's like me when I first saw all this. I was a bit more panicky, but you know.
Well, we did warn. It's difficult to take in and comprehend.
Yeah, I don't normally panic, but yeah, I could see how you would.
It is a lot to take in at first, but
I mean, honestly, I was terrified I was never gonna see home again.
What is home for you?
Baklamel. Baklamel is home.
Sure. I
It
mean,
might
but
not seem like it sometimes, but you know. That is home for me. I always go back there, you know? And sure, I might have some issues back there, but Baklamel isn't the one that caused my problems. Honestly, life is what caused all of my problems, but you know. Nothing I can really do about that.
I'm sure you can eventually, but still, and she kind of just looks around, tries to like walk around the massive rock formation, just to like eye it and see the freaking hell is that thing.
I suppose no one heard you
Chris.
on the other side. Icarus has been silent.
Chris, I know you're dumbstruck, but snap out of it. And she kind of just walks over and snaps her fingers right in front of his face.
He is standing there, just kind of in a dazed trance, I suppose. Thinking something. Maybe he's fallen asleep in the ways that his people fall asleep.
He gets like this sometimes, guys, don't you worry. And she kind of just grabs him by the shoulders and just leads him to a corner. Makes him sit.
Okay. getting him cozy so he doesn't fall down and bump his head.
I mean, it's a way to make someone alive again. Just bonk them. Sometimes that works, right?
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Probably not a good way to go about it. But...
So, have you guys considered what you're gonna use this whole space for? You were planning to do a hunter's lodge out of it, make a hunter's lodge out of this, or I don't see how this could. Are you gonna like cordon this off? Are you gonna let everyone use this, or?
So my personal plan for at least this the room with the button, I'm going to be sleeping in there. That will be my room. If that makes any sense. That's where I'll be.
Why?
So people don't just randomly walk into it and accidentally press the button.
I mean, if
Uh,
they really want to sneak in, nothing would stop them.
Well, of course not. If even if there is a guard there, it doesn't really matter. But it's better to have someone there than not have someone there at all. But that's where I'll be sleeping, and we could easily cordon off, seal off, some of the section of this place as best we can.
Hmm. Okay. Sounds reasonable.
It won't be hard to block off some areas. That that all that'll do is just take time.
And resources. And money.
Obviously.
Have you got the resources to keep this, the upkeep for this place? It's not gonna run itself, not if you, just let the big old orc downstairs do the thing. Not that I'm against orcs, I'm just saying.
It can't run itself yet.
Part of the reason why we wanted to set up the Hunter's Lodge was to offset some of the costs that might come from upkeep or anything this location might need if we could save up the coin for it. Or at least that was my understanding of the situation.
Yeah, once we have established this place, and it's not like anybody is going to be able to get down here anyways. Once the lodge itself, the place where everybody's going to be is going to be, that cave.
Okay, so you want to refurbish this place into a massive hunter's lodge thing. I mean, from what you've showed us, the system of like rooms and things is quite large. This can probably house dozens of people.
You haven't
Yep.
seen quite nearly all of it.
Mm. Did you, when you came, did you, hang on, how many people did you kill to get all this thing to yourself?
Little more than a dozen, I think. I mean, technically, we didn't kill everyone. There was the one guy who killed himself.
Okay.
We weren't
Concerning.
quite keeping count.
Yeah, there were of the actual cultists, which, as far as we were aware, were all human, and now their bodies are currently being dissolved in acid. There were maybe 10 of them.
Yeah,
12.
when you put it that way, it sounds kind of bad.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
They were racist cultists, okay? Honestly,
Well,
killing them was doing the world a favor.
It did
sure.
very likely pose a threat to Baklamel.
They
If
were
it's any
trying to
consolation.
destroy the city.
Well, too bad the city didn't get a say in their, execution and judgment. But, sure. Still, my question remains. I get that you have this grand plan of refurbishing this place into a hunter's lodge so that it can run itself. But you still need to get the resources and train the people, which is gonna still require those exact resources and money to get all set up. Do you is there like a cache here that you found that you're using for that, or?
There are supplies and things we can use to basically get money. You remember that giant stack of weapons that I gave the blacksmiths the other day?
Okay.
Yeah, well, you saw the armory that's here, right?
Okay.
We haven't shown them that part yet.
Well, there's two armories. There's the one that's in this section, and then there's the one that's in the other section.
Ah, right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, we'll
So you're planning to sell the weapons?
at certain intervals, at certain times. That's one of the things. The girls, I mean, it's mostly just scrap metal. Half of it's like scrap metal anyways. They're just gonna melt it down.
Okay, so not the best of quality. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Fair enough.
nothing. From what we can tell, everything's been sitting for like, I don't know, 100 years. I'm just throwing out a number, by the way. I don't actually know how long it's actually been there. But a rug and some of the other orcs were essentially one of their main jobs was what you call it, cleaning all of those weapons.
That's an interesting point. DM, like looking around, walking through the corridors, cleaning things up, how old does this place look?
It's hard for you to tell because it's not of a construction that you've ever seen before. Most buildings you have seen are either tents, um, wooden structures made of small branches, thatch, and logs. Nothing that you have seen is to this degree of precision, with these sharp 90-degree angles and glossy stones. There was a damp and dank smell to this when you first entered. Since you've been cleaning it, though, it's genuinely very hard to tell. It's completely
Okay.
foreign to your perception.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the easiest way to look at it is all of this makes 0 sense. That's the way I understand it.
Yeah, everything makes sense though. In terms of to somebody, I'm sure there's a purpose for this. Whoever built this place, and the cultists, from what you told me, and Icarus, they wouldn't be the ones to do it. I don't think. It's just a guess.
Oh, they
I'm-
100% didn't build this.
They
100%
They built this?
didn't.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
From what we understand, the only reason they found this place was because of a rug and, his people.
Mm.
To be truthful, I couldn't imagine anyone in Zocheclgoth that could have created this.
And that's
She
coming from
kinda-
the smartest man in this room right now.
Debatable, but fair enough.
I mean,
Icarus
he's the
pretty-
smartest person I know, is what I'm saying.
I mean, I found Icarus to be quite a smarty pants when he wants to be.
I mean, next to Guardian, she's pretty smart too.
I'm glad you think I'm smart.
I mean, y'all are smarter than me. I can guarantee that. Or at least I'm pretty sure I can guarantee that.
Yeah, intelligence is subjective. Anyway,
Yeah, true, I guess. Anyways, so we've got some other things to show you. So first we'll take you to the armory that's here and show you. Hey, look. A huge stash of relatively cleaned weapons.
The armory is up over here where the camera is. It does have a stone door. Guardian.
Press the button.
You all join up at this room over here, and when Guardian presses the button, same thing like that other room. The end of the hallway disappears, and there is now a room there. You see a few racks of glistening iron weapons, common to what you've seen the cultists use, and in your cleanup of this place, you've seen them scattered around, just in good condition and all nicely racked up here. Various scimitars, shields, that sort of thing.
Part of it is empty now, I will mention. Just
Yeah.
to state, there are sections of weapons missing. So most of this is what we sold to the girls. And yeah.
This
We
the
go ahead.
Do the weapons look well kept in this particular armory, or like it's a mismatch? It's a mix and match sort of situation.
They are all very similar in design and construction, more so than most ocean weapons. They look like they have been assembled with intention to look the same and perform the same. They are well kept and polished.
Mass-produced weaponry.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound like something a cultist would bother with.
Indeed. Do
What do you
do the weapons look just regularly mundane, or do they have any sort of?
Roll me a investigation check, please.
Okay.
Since it's kind of our first time looking at this, could Shu assist?
Sure. Yep. Go for it.
Yeah, from what we can tell, none of these were particularly special in any way, except there's a lot of them, like a lot of them.
Icarus, you do
Yes.
not see any markings on these. However, they are of a fine construction. The carving in the wood is uniform among all of them. The connections between the metallic parts and the wooden parts are very finely crafted. They are all uniform armaments. You have daggers, you have scimitars, you have shields, various gauntlets and boots, but most of them are swords and martial weapons of some sort. They do seem like a military weapon. They aren't of any construction that is impossible in Zocheclgoth, but the fact that they are all so similar, and the fact that they bear a not very artful design, but a design that is clearly meant for war and nothing but war, is a bit interesting to you. Most ocean weapons do have a bit of artistry to them because they are unique and made for each user in most cases.
These were made for pretty much utilitarian, very utilitarian, but they are quite finely crafted.
Do you guys think someone smuggled these here, or is this like a secret stash of some army long forgotten?
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
I'm of the opinion that the answer to that is both. They were both smuggled here and were used by some army in the past somewhere, or were prepared for some army in the past somewhere. At least that's my guess.
I
Because
cannot
we
say
still
for
haven't shown you the other one.
The other one.
Yeah, they said there's 2 rooms like this. Right.
Yeah, grab any weapon off the rack and bring it with us. We got a lot to show you. Because this is only half of, well,
Icarus
everything.
will grab a short sword or 2, if possible.
Yeah, feel free to add whatever standard weapon you would like to your inventory at this time. Shui and Icarus, and anyone else that feels like they would like.
Leo is already full up on daggers.
For sure.
In fact, so is Shui by this point.
the big guy.
Yeah, you see a box with daggers in it that is like, it's got a couple missing.
All neatly lined up inside a straw padded but wooden rack on layers inside that box. Each dagger is nicely kept in its place. They're good daggers.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yep. I took several of those myself. I mean, there's plenty of stuff here. It's just, I mean, not everything I can use, you know? Or at least
Fair.
nothing I can use well.
Mm.
Leo looks kind of longingly at a long sword. Looks so pretty. Anyways, let's go.
Actually, yeah.
Go ahead, Icarus.
No, I
Yeah,
was
go
just
ahead.
gonna say Icarus is actually going to grab a long sword and a short sword just because.
Totally fair.
There you go.
How does one add
Uh,
words to the? Okay, no.
Oh, so you go to compendium, and you look for items, SRD. And then you can search. What kind of item are you looking for? There, Shui. Short sword, long sword, scimitar, dagger.
Gotcha.
several daggers.
Okay, just for my own sake, because I was body snatched. In this room, there are just swords and scimitars and the like, correct?
Yeah, there's nothing special. It is, I mean, they're nice weapons, but they're not anything unusual.
Reason I ask is, Icarus is looking for a longbow as well, if possible.
There's a longbow.
Ye-
Shui, did you find it? I can add stuff to your character sheet if you'd like.
I found it. Now it's my turn to. It's okay. We can do it later. Don't want to clock too much time.
Does not take much time for me.
While everyone is walking down the corridors to the other room, Icarus is gonna look and see if there's any like specific like identifying markings on these weapons.
Like a maker's mark almost.
Yeah, something like that, or at least maker's mark or a symbol of who these might have belonged to.
You can run an investigation or a history. It's up to you.
Either way, they're the same, so I'll take investigation.
Using the dagger she found, could she run a history check to see if the design or like
Oops.
the make of the dagger reminds her of something?
Sure. Icarus.
Yeah,
You find nothing significant about this.
I
other
figured.
than things you've seen. Yep. Go for it, Shui.
Neither does Shu, I think.
Correct.
When you try your best, but you don't succeed.
She kind of just picks her teeth with the dagger.
It's very sharp.
Not the first stunt she's done with a dagger, probably.
Certainly not the first.
Black
Certainly will not be the last.
Yeah.
Question for
So,
Go ahead, Leo. You're probably already doing what I was about to ask. Go for it.
So, now to show you the other half, which I will mention isn't entirely explored. We haven't checked out everything there yet. There is still some stuff that we don't know about the next area that we are about to go to. I just want to make sure to state that beforehand. Not everything has been gone through, so once we reach a certain point, don't go too far. And
the party has walked over to that room that you are all in at this moment. 1 second.
Yeah, Leo leads them to the quote-unquote entrance of the secondary area that appears once, the dungeon has shifted locations.
Yep.
Which is a phrase that I never thought I would ever say.
You're welcome. There's
Also,
Akron's.
just a quick reminder for the player.
Yep. I'm here.
Leo still has the bandage on, right, on his head, and is still just as rough and tumble as he looked the first time we've met.
Yeah, he's just got, a slightly new getup.
New jacket. Oh yeah, that was part of
yeah.
the things that you missed last time was he had some tailoring done to his jacket by his lovely sister. And it fits very nice.
And a chorus turned into a cat and provided some lovely chaos.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Much
Yeah,
to Leo's
so,
chagrin.
Sort of. It was kind of a chagrin, but Leo to explain Leo's appearance in general, without, the extra fluff, I guess you could call it. He has, the scar on his face, the bandages wrapped around his head. He's got gloves and everything, and underneath the gloves there's wrappings around, fingers and such. There are underneath, his armor and everything's kind of lined and covered. You would have seen when he takes his armor off and stuff. His general appearance is a lot of bandages.
And then also your
But
new
and now he has a new set of armor, a really nice long coat, and he still has his old kind of ratty forest colored cloak for stealth essentially. And when he's not in public, essentially, when he's amongst people, he's not hobbling around like a cripple. But when he's in Baklamel, he hobbles around like a cripple. But you see him now, he's not straight back, but upright and walks normally.
Shui would just curiously glance at Leo, just thinking about the shift in demeanor from Leo. And just wait to be shown around, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, Ekorus will do the same, just wait to be led around, listening to Leo's instruction of not straying too far away.
Sure. Okay, so the party enters into this strange double end of a hallway. There's metal doors. Leo leads the group through. Once you enter it, you're in a massive room. The ceilings are tall. The room expands into large hallways. A stark contrast to the dungeon that you've just been in. This is a spacious place. All around you is more garbage and trash and stuff that the cult has left behind. This looks like a large gathering area for some sort of purpose. There are benches lining the walls around you.
Yeah, so this is the section that we can only get to once we've moved the dungeon, I guess you could call it. That's what all this is.
I wonder how the hell does that work?
You know, we ask that question every time.
Your guess is
Anything
as good as
happens.
ours.
Or your guess is worse than ours. But yeah, follow me this way, and Leo will take him kind of down and around towards where is this the ping button? I think this is the ping button.
Just hold
There
it
it
down.
is. Yeah,
Ah,
there
okay.
it is. Yeah, I think this was the armory or this was the armory. I don't remember which.
This is the
Always an armory
Uh,
if you try hard enough.
I mean, that's true. But yeah, we'll take them down down to this area to show them whatever this is, because there's the section that's kind of up and around past here that we haven't explored yet.
I'm not sure where you were at, but just making sure Shui is pulled to this scene. Anyway, Leo leads you down this large hallway and into this room. Bring the camera around. In this room, you see rows and rows and rows of wooden bed frames. So pretty much all of them are smashed in some form. They're kicked around. It looks like either some sort of hospital or barracks of some sort. These beds are oddly square and oddly made in such a like someone spent a lot of time on making these, at least from a Zotian perspective. Yeah, it's just a big common area. Players, you're welcome to explore with your avatars if you would like. That's what they're there for.
Huh.
Oh, right, I'm an idiot. There we go.
So clearly we haven't quite gotten around to
Exploring everything. There's
well, I
still.
was to say cleaning this area.
Oh,
It's just
yeah,
kind of a mess.
Here,
It's a big room, just like the other one. Tall ceilings, long and wide, but this is clearly a common sleeping area of some sort.
the room Leo walked in. What is this room?
To your right are chamber toilets, and to your left are tubs for bathing.
I found.
Your microphone clipped. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Leo excitedly yells out, "I found the baths!"
Oh yeah, no, it's a whole row of wooden bathtubs, large extended barrels.
I would like
yeah,
to
is
far from it as possible from the stench. I mean, Shui.
You do
is
smell
there,
a bit of
like-
orc poo in there, but it's not too bad. There's not a whole bunch in there.
Is there like faucets or something?
You don't know what a faucet is, other than the pump ones. You don't see any such thing.
Oh, so this area just has like tubs,
Tubs.
but no like water source, from what he can tell.
Correct. Nor heat
So
source.
it's just-
I
Okay,
found
so this-
another door.
Acris has found a door at the end of the room.
Yes.
It is
Would you
unlocked.
mind moving Shui there? Because I don't have access currently to. My screen is still loading.
Oh, okay.
Shui will stay by Acris's side and follow him along.
For
Kind
sure.
of sticking to the guy Shilo.
The
knows
stream
best.
should be able to tell you where things are at. There, Shui.
I'm
In case you
following.
need it.
I'm following.
Cool.
Right. So
All right, no.
what you're
okay.
about to see is the armory we were mentioning.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. that. That's just beyond this door here.
You all step into this room, another large, expansive room, and there's not just a nice little collection of weapons like you saw in the dungeon earlier in that small room. There is possibly hundreds of weapons in here. Rows upon rows upon rows. It looks like it could support a lot of people. They're the same design of weapons like you saw in the other armory. Just a heck of a lot more.
Well, whoever was using this,
Definitely
prepared
wasn't
for
a smuggler.
No.
The biggest difference I think between these weapons and the other ones is that these weapons are kind of like dirty and rusted, or like
Correct.
what's
They are. They're some of them are just incredibly dusty. Some of them are rusty, worn down. Best you can surmise is that the ones down in the dungeon were being looked after by the cult and being slowly brought into use from this cache.
Whoever left us here was preparing for something. Hell, I don't fucking know what they would be preparing for other than
This is either a place that was or is important to someone to guard with such a substantial force, or a staging ground for an attack or an invasion.
exactly.
Something like that. It's honestly it's hard to, I guess, compute everything, if you will.
To put
What
it
is
simply,
that
they were
for?
ready for war.
The question remains, if you haven't explored this far deep, maybe there's something down here worth protecting this much.
Yeah, that's I mean, we didn't go terribly far because at the time we had questionable people with us, but you know, that now that they're gone, you know, and the only people with us now are, you know, you guys. Now we can show you all this, I guess. This is, you know,
I mean,
there's
at least you have a couple.
all of this.
I'm glad I'm
And
not
now
as questionable.
all of this is ours.
Well, I wouldn't call it ours. We don't know what's here yet. For all you know, there's some hermit deep within who's just been living unaware that you kind of took over.
Hard to say, honestly.
I mean, there's only one way to find out, and that's if we keep going.
Yeah, the
And sure,
Arug said that there is no one else here.
great. And she runs forward.
I didn't say, I said there's no one else here, not that there isn't other things here that you shouldn't be careful about.
Already 20 feet ahead
Yes.
of you.
Just let them find out on their own.
Yeah.
Something about fucking around and finding out. I don't know. I've heard that before.
Yeah,
It's
so have
my
I.
motto.
Yeah. Also, there's a really nice room here. That room is a rugs.
Shui, you run up to the end of the armory, kind of stop in your tracks. There's a window that goes, well, not to the outside, but to the inside of the giant rock or mountain or whatever this place is attached to. Beyond that, you see a cave. And what you see beyond that is a bit of a disturbing sight. In this cave is a massive pile of bodies. dozens, perhaps hundreds of people. None of them are human, but there's lots of dead people there.
Reason number
Right.
2 why we got rid of the cultists.
Suppose this
Okay,
is another
think-
thing we should explain or attempt to explain as best we can.
Probably a good
We
idea.
didn't kill these people. Just to state that. We didn't do that.
Yeah, no. No offense, but you're not capable of doing this. How mangled are the, like, is it brutally mutilated corpses or just...
Some of them are simply stabbed and bleeding. Some of them are missing limbs, mutilated. Some are burned with the symbol of the Old One's cult. They're all in various gruesome positions and states. Very few of them have been kindly put to rest. They've just sort of been heaped into a massive pile.
Okay, so
It-
they're not like, positioned in a certain way like a sacrifice, more of a just piled on for whatever reason.
Yes. If you would like to hide
Okay.
something, it's a good place to hide it. There have been,
It all
to update you since you're newer, there have been reports of missing peoples throughout this area of the world. Both in Aronia, Illumat, Baklamel. None of them are human, but there have been missing people at an increasing rate.
I suppose it also may be worth noting, this is where we encountered Crested.
Yeah, and just to make sure to state this, we aren't leaving them out there by choice right now. We're just haven't been able to do anything with them yet. It's a giant pile of bodies, and I'm not planning on leaving them in that state forever. At least I'm not. I don't know about anybody else.
I don't think it
well-
would. I don't think it would be fair to leave them like that.
Yeah,
Here's-
no, they should at least
The
be
longer...
buried somewhere.
Well, I'm guessing the people would want to find their missing loved ones, so you might as well involve the entire village.
I mean,
Yeah.
the situation with that is people make assumptions.
I think this should be brought to like the mayor or something, no? Because there's too much work to be done just by the 5 of us, and the longer they stay here, the less recognizable they'll be with rot and smell and whatever.
They're already almost completely unrecognizable. I don't recognize. Does Leo recognize a single person in that pile of bodies
No,
from anyone in Baklamel?
they're pretty tore up. It would be hard to identify where some begin and where some end in some cases.
And
Ow.
honestly, I am scared to walk out there.
I'll do it. She steps in.
Should we go through the door? And
Does the moon have an atmosphere?
first of all, this is no moon, and second of all,
It's a space station.
Guys, let the
yes,
DM
but
explain.
asteroid. No, it's cool.
I'm
Um,
sorry, I had to. You presented a reference, and I had to do it.
I understand cons need to meme. It's all good. So I kind of did it too. Like it was kind of my fault. You can breathe in this area. It is too small to be a moon, though. It's an asteroid.
Oh, look,
It stinks in here.
Leo doesn't know that.
Yeah, for sure. It stinks in here. Piles of rotting corpses. What would you like to do, Shui?
The body might not be recognizable, but maybe some people have like a, I don't know, some limbs have like a bracelet or a necklace or a pendant, something that will show people, look, this is something like a family heirloom or something like that.
Personal effects, basically.
You do
Yeah.
find various personal effects scattered around. However, anything that had anything of value, something with gems, something with gold, all of that has been stripped away. You do find various strands of hair that have been braided. You find floral things. You find pieces of various stones and not so valuable gems. They are
Well, they're
somewhat
very-
attached to some of them, but you're going to have a hard time finding who it belongs to.
DM, I forget. Didn't when we checked this the last time? I think I remember Sebastian found there was like a necklace or something on some bird thing.
You may have.
I don't remember.
Sadly, I don't remember either. I remember you finding the penguin-like bird creatures, but I don't remember. Oh wait, no, there was a necklace with one of those crystals on it. That's what it was. Right.
Ah, right.
And those were more freshly killed. Like they were with crasted on the top of the pile.
Yeah. So, you see, Leo walks out, and he's the best way to describe his facial expression is disgust at how all of this looks and rage for those who have done it. Well,
Sure
at
is
those who have done this.
Shuri is not even looking at him. She has like a grim expression on her face with like a hint of determination, and she's slowly and methodically just scouring through the dead bodies looking for personal effects, and just slowly lines them up in a neat row by the exit, by the entrance, so that she can get things back to people eventually and like show it to the people at the town, back at town, like, do you recognize this, do you recognize this, do you recognize this, do you know this person, that sort of thing.
Okay. Yep, you find various things that I mentioned before, and you're creating a little pile at the end of the room.
Mm-hmm. Well, are you guys just gonna stand there?
Leo is helping you move bodies, lining them up. He's not digging through them like you are, but he does help, line bodies and such up.
As you're going through this gruesome work, Leo, you discover some maggots as you're pulling some bodies up off of others. As there's some significant rotting going down as you dig deeper into the pile. And as a mention of scale, this would probably take you weeks to properly process, at least any sane person.
Once we get to like a certain point where it's more like where stuff's just starting to look too decayed, Leo's just going to kind of stop Shui for a second. This is going to take time.
By
We're
this
not going to
point,
finish this today.
by this point, Shu is a redhead, right? She's covered, I'm guessing, in blood and bits of gore, like up to her shoulders by now, with like patches on her head and forehead and on her cheeks, because she, like, when she, from the hard work, she'd be like rubbing her face to take the sweat away, and then just getting even more gory and disgusting. So she looks at him and she goes, "Well, the sooner we start, the sooner we'll finish. No."
Yes, but we still have the rest of this place to deal with. That's why we're all here right now. We're not here for this. Yet. So just slow down for a second. They aren't going anywhere.
Hopefully.
I mean, if one of them starts getting up, we're gonna have some problems.
Grabs a skull. No, I'm kidding. She doesn't.
While we're, here and taking a closer look, does anyone look recognizable from Baklamel or anywhere else Leo has been?
Nope.
She
I
kind of
mean-
sighs and steps back from her work, just tidying up and being like, "Fine, we can do this later then."
Yeah. I can guarantee you this. I'm not leaving them here.
Neither am I.
I appreciate that we at least have a similar opinion on this.
I'm glad you killed those fuckers.
And yet you were almost mad at me for doing so.
I wasn't mad. I was just pointing out the
Leo
fact that
chuckles to himself.
that's not a laughing matter, especially not here. And she motions to the piles of dead people.
You see when he does, smile, he has to kind of hold it back because that scar on his lip does split when he smiles, and he just kind of stops. Sorry, apologies. I was laughing more at the situation, and one thing my auntie and sister says is only the strong can laugh in despair. And this is
Or
a
the wicked.
despairing situation. So laughter is necessary to deal with it.
The strong or the wicked?
Depends on the laughter. At least that's my opinion. Now, come on, let's
Have you got?
go ahead.
I was just sneezing.
She kind of just before exiting, like getting back to inside, she just looks down at herself, covered in gore and blood, and she goes, does anyone have a towel or a cloth?"
Sorry.
Yeah, we know where to get some.
Alright. Don't want to be running around like this.
Trust me, neither do I. And
But, yeah.
If,
Leo will start making his way towards the cafeteria, I guess we could call it.
As they're kind of walking, Guardian will cast prestidigitation on our bloody friends to kind of help with that. help.
Oh, thank you.
Shui
Thank
and
you
Leo, you
so
look
much.
sparkly clean, you smell great, lavender and other lovely scents. Your hair is fresh.
Acarus. Go ahead.
Shuri sneezes. She has allergy for lavender. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry.
Dies of allergy. Oh no!
Acarus, I do have a question for you.
Yeah, we
Okay.
still have the drawing on the table.
I know.
I know I've heard people of your specialty, they can do stuff with like earth and stone. Are you able to do that? If you can't do it now, that's fine. I'm just curious if you can.
Possibly, but I don't know if I can at the moment.
What are you referring to again?
I am asking if Acarus is able to use his talents to help us bury these people later, essentially.
Makes sense. Also, is that a crime scene with a white silhouette of a dead person, or
No,
It's
that
just simply
drawing.
it's simply a improvised DM drawing of crafted on the table for the little visualization.
It's just a little guy.
Yeah, it's nothing of
Okay.
importance
Dude.
at this moment.
okay?
Yeah. If anything, if we can't, take them out of here, I'd rather, at least the
Give them
view
a
out
proper
there is
burial.
nice. Yeah, and at least the view out there is nice, so they'll at least be able to rest with a nice view.
If and when I can, I'll let you know.
I appreciate that.
I'm in agreement with you. They deserve a proper burial.
Ain't that
Instead of whatever that is.
yeah.
Okay, this is getting morbid. Is there booze here?
I do not believe this place contains any sort of alcohol.
It doesn't contain alcohol yet.
After that scene, I really need some. So
Don't
let's stop.
make sure you hide your alcohol from Shuey because they will drink it all.
Yeah, I kinda had a feeling. I'm not worried about it right now, though.
Well, I guess good thing they don't know what we were originally here for.
Yeah.
What's that?
So,
I mean,
Don't worry about it.
insight check.
so
Who are you inciting?
I guess Guardian.
Oh,
That is between you two. I am staying out of it.
so, just so that you guys know, down this hallway, is a Rug's room, basically. His room will be down there.
don't
kinda-
worry about it.
Shuey, I'm
And,
sorry, but the dice say what the dice say.
Indeed.
And the dice say,
the-
don't worry about it.
Uh-huh.
Chewie just narrows her eyes
The
and
big,
then smiles.
the big tiefling lady says, "Don't worry about it."
But yeah, down here is basically the pathway to the entrance, and basically a Rug's room.
Hey, noted.
And I mean, honestly, we already raided a Rug's room. There's not much else in there. But yeah, and down over here, this is the area that we kind of haven't fully explored yet.
Huh.
As you walk
But,
into this end of the mess hall, you see a bunch of cookware scattered around in the corner. It looks like this is where people used to prepare meals. There's an iron stove of a very solid construction built into the side of the room. You've not seen one this well made, as we could say, or completely iron, as it were. And over in the corner, you see two like barbecue fire pits. Fairly simple supplies for a kitchen. More overturned tables in the corner.
Said before, whoever was here before the cultists, we're ready for something big. Had this much stuff here.
Oh my god. Sorry, Foundry's lagging.
For everyone, it seems. I'm starting to think the double stream may be affecting that. If you are all experiencing more lag than usual, it's possibly I'm just using my upload bandwidth. Is it feeling more laggy than last time?
A
bit.
little bit, but it's not intolerable.
Yeah.
Because I'm
It's
starting
like
to think like
off and on.
yeah, I have like it's stupid because my ISP like artificially blocks how much like you could send for how much this plan is or whatever. So basically between the two streams, I am using up a pretty significant bit rate. So
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
it may be worth just dropping the kick stream. Cool that it works, but if I'm trying to host data to you all as well, I think that that's causing an issue. So, for all of you watching
Possibly.
on Kick, thanks for checking it out. And this is something that I was prepared to do, so I'm not too heartbroken over it. I know how much bitrate I have available. It's sadly not enough. So I'm going to stop that stream. For those that are watching on Kick, feel free to head on over to YouTube /@Humec, and you'll be able to see this stream going live. Okay, ciao.
Yeah, so this is I mean, cafeteria, kitchen, prep area. I mean, honestly, once we get things sorted out,
I mean, this is probably a place we can keep to
Say
ourselves.
this is big enough to build an entire guild.
Exactly.
yeah,
I-
and we just we are not prepared to open a guild just yet.
Guilds aren't prepared to be opened. They're built gradually by increasing numbers of members and stuff.
Well, of course, it's just we don't have that capability right now, obviously. And we still gotta, we still gotta keep this under wraps for now because there are possibly some people who may or may not want this all back.
Well, how about have you considered using the opposite approach? Luring those people out by making this vocal, and they will reveal themselves, and that's when you can spring the trap.
That's part of the plan. We're keeping it small, localized for now, and once we had essentially built up a defense for this place, then yeah, we'll take care of that. But for now, we're keeping this under wraps. I've mentioned to people around town, people that we can trust, basically, that I'm gonna try to start a business out of the cave we found. And
I personally would like to try and understand the origin of this place before kind of bringing it to public knowledge. But that's just my.
That's why
personal
I only told them about the cave. I didn't tell them about the dungeon. And I didn't tell them about this.
Yep, to all every-
Onwards. Let's
as
see if there's more answers than questions down this corridor.
I may have had. Never mind.
Just to update everyone, the town, any of the townsfolk only know that Teblian was found with some cultists in a cave about a day's walk away. They don't know anything about the dungeon itself, other than actually not even the guards had seen much beyond the dungeon from the traveler guard, from the traveler guild. So what you have is completely unknown to anyone but this group right here.
If I kill you all, I'll be the only one. No, I'm kidding.
You
Really?
can certainly try. I certainly won't go down without a fight.
Sorry, places like these, they bring out my morbid, dark humor.
No worries. I get it. And then this is just a connecting pathway over here.
Yep. This hallway that you're in, Shui, just goes down to the staging room.
Okay.
But yeah, this is
This door is locked.
the place we found.
This door is open.
Sky, you end up in one of the hallways that you are familiar with from the dungeon.
Ah,
It's tight, dark, and cramped. Very different from the room you were just in.
Oh. I didn't know that there was a door there.
There is indeed.
and there's. I suppose that's another entrance.
I mean, the question is, where does it lead?
Oh, back into
Just
the
back
dungeon.
into the.
Ah, never mind.
Hopefully to answers rather than dead bodies.
Well, it
the-
doesn't lead to answers, it leads to the main area.
God damn.
And there wasn't anything like. There weren't any books or papers or any of that, like, from what we saw the first time we were here.
Correct. Oddly, nothing
Digging.
of the sort. Especially when it comes to the captain's room where Arug lives. There were cabinets and things that might hold books, but they're empty.
Okay. Okay. Does I'm not particularly good with magic stuff. I just have my fists. Does anyone have, out of you people, a certain vibe as to what we've traveled through in terms of, like, ooh, this place is charged with energy or whatever you guys call it?
I mean, I can certainly check.
Who's like making sure there's no invisible things that we miss or that sort of thing?
can certainly check.
You're free to roll a. Sorry, I was thinking my response and I didn't respond. You can roll an Arcana check if you'd like. Sorry.
I was trying to lead towards a detect magic.
That's actually maybe even
You can
better.
do that. Go for it.
All right. Oh, that's the other. I'm up.
Hang on. How long can you keep the detect magic thing up?
It's 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
So 30 foot.
Well,
range.
actually,
Okay.
can I ritual cast it then? If we can stay here 10 minutes.
Sure.
All right.
How would you like to describe your
Okay.
ritual?
And Chorus will just sit down cross-legged, and he will just fall into what could be considered a translate state as he tries to feel for any magic in the area.
Okay.
Having seen him kind of do rituals before, Shui is not very patient, so 2 minutes in, she just leans in right into his ear and just whispers very loudly, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet?" Then into the other ear, "Are you done yet? How much longer?"
Do you respond at all, Akris?
He will try not to.
Okay.
Just keeps a poker face and tries to ignore Shui.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's dealt with this before.
Let's say 7 minutes have passed. Shui, how you feeling?
She's been poking his cheek the entire time, every minute, just.
Guardian is just kind of like watching to see where this goes. Just kind of like, do you really have to poke his cheek while he's doing whatever he is doing?
I'm giving him incentive to hurry up.
I
Uh,
don't believe that is how that works. But if it works for him, I cannot say because I'm not as familiar with these matters.
I mean, he's not complaining. Poke. Poke. Poke.
So, a question for the dungeon master:
I have an answer.
who is the oldest person in Baklamel?
Oldest person.
Like,
Huh?
is there somebody who was there when it was founded,
Oh,
or
heck no. Nobody's that old.
Old Lady Linda.
yeah, there's not like that weird old elf that just lives in the corner of the town somewhere that was there for like, I don't know, who probably just set up shop and just never left, or
Old
nothing.
Man Jenkins.
Sadly, no.
I-
There's nobody of that advanced of an age.
There's not a Jenkins or a Linda. They're just sitting in their rocking chairs. Like, I remember when my hut was the only one here.
I mean, there are some old
Has there
people, but no one that old. Bucklamel's been around a very long time.
See, so this is just from what I can understand. This entire place is older than the city of Baklamel.
By
It
far.
was here
leagues.
before that,
Way longer.
and nobody's ever there weren't any old stories about this sort of a place. There's nothing about this that I am aware of in town anywhere.
Nope. The cave was recently discovered by the clan.
And everything about this place, everything here is beyond anyone in that city.
Yes.
Leo's kind of like explaining this to the group. None of this makes sense to me. And as far as I'm aware, I've heard about dungeons. I've been in dungeons before, but nothing like this. This is beyond anything I've seen ever.
I mean,
Oak.
I'm not used to seeing structures as often, except for the cities like Baklama and stuff. So the fact that structure is made out of a lot of these materials is already new territory for me. It's
Yeah,
admittedly a little unnerving.
There's the metal doors. There's there's obviously the control area with the button that makes no sense. There's so much here that just and the fact that there is nothing here that could explain this is even more problematic and unnerving. Yes, this entire place, as in the whole of the dungeon, can probably keep half the city in it.
Physically, yes, perhaps. Acaris, your spell has been cast. No slots
Yes.
have been taken. You do not detect any magic from the place that you are in. You do, however, sense magic from the back of Guardian, emanating around her barrel of a backpack.
Just for clarification and a sanity check on my end,
Of course.
was Akers told about whatever Guardian is carrying, or is this new to them?
I believe it was discussed when you first met each other. I don't know if she showed you what was in the back of your backpack, so I'm gonna say no.
She
What?
said she was carrying something, but she's not showed any of the new people. Like,
Okay, that's so. Okay, so
I was like, I don't even think Leo knows what's in the bag either. It was just only
I don't think so
Sebastian
either.
that she was. Yeah, no, she never
That
told
I-
Leo either. It was only Sebastian that knows what's in there.
Yep.
He
Okay,
knows something's in there. He just,
That's what I'm saying.
wanted
Is
to
the
keep
only
it-
one that knows specifically what is in there is Sebastian. Everyone else knows there's something in there, but they're just not sure.
Thank you.
Didn't
Okay,
you show it off, like, early on? Like,
That was to
somewhat early
Sebastian
on, like...
in private during a watch while camping.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
okay, the reason why I asked is I didn't remember if Akers knew that they were carrying something.
Yep.
Oh, she made it
Right.
clear she's carrying something. She just never showed. She didn't
Okay, yeah,
show.
that's fine.
So you are discovering there is magic on her back for the first time.
Yes.
So, but you do not detect it
Hey.
from the structure you are in.
Hey, Acaris, can you, follow me real quick? Since you got
Sure.
that up.
Yeah.
We go to the captain's quarters.
Okay. Should we pull into a private room? I don't have that set up. Like, what's up?
No, it's just to see if he detects any magic in the room, essentially.
Ah, okay.
Yes. So,
Both of you, when you walk in, you see a rug just kind of propped up on the chair at the captain's desk. He's picking at his fingernails. He just kind of nods and smiles at you both when you walk in.
Hey, bud, just, looking around,
Okay.
trying to get a feel,
You are welcome
Sorry.
to sneeze in my room. Sometimes I like to sneeze on my desk too, and wipe it down.
You should always cover your mouth when you sneeze.
Oh. Hmm.
It's rude not to do that.
Indeed.
So why didn't you?
I mean, I did.
You're loud, then.
Leo and Akris, what are y'all doing in this room? Wondering.
Yeah, Leo's just, poking around. This is the bathroom that he just walked in. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
I mean, I
you need to
can't
go to the
see
bathroom.
what's
I
in
don't
there.
know.
I mean, I can't see what's in there, but, does Acaris notice anything pinging magic
Yes.
off of this room?
Yeah, 1 second. So,
Besides possibly a rug, who may or may not have something, but I doubt it.
he does not. And you do notice a small magical aura from the skull that is on top of the cabinet here.
Hold on. Icarus will head towards it and just read this again. Okay, no. So, can I tell what school of magic it's throwing off?
No. You know that there's something odd about this skull, that it has a history, but you're not able to see what method of magic or anything too specific about it.
Well,
It may be a vanquished foe, trophy of the past. There's certainly some extreme emotional energy from this skull.
Well, the skull's certainly throwing something. Can't tell exactly what, though.
Yeah. I think, Rug, you said the skull belonged to the previous captain?
No, I think he found it.
Oh, I don't know.
I like it.
Yeah, just, I guess keep an eye on it, I guess, is the best way I can word that.
I have to keep my eyes in my head.
Just in case it does anything weird one day, just let us know, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leo will kinda, do you mind? To a rug?
He will what to Rug?
He said he's gesturing to the skull, like, do you mind if I take a look at it?
Oh, of course. He picks it up off the cabinet and hands it over to you.
Leo takes a look at it. Anything in particular about this that, like, sticks out to Leo?
Run me investigation, please.
Okie dokie.
And can Acorus help with that, considering what he's told him about the magical properties of it?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okie doke. Ooh, 17.
Nice. Okay, so as you are holding the skull, kind of looking around it, you notice that the inside of the skull, basically the ceiling of it, when you're looking down into it, the roof of where the brain would be, it's shiny. If you've ever seen abalone, it is reminiscent of that. This is a human skull, by the way. There's nothing particularly different about it.
Yeah, it's an obviously human skull. There's no like weird features like from an elf, a half elf, or like anything that would, be
Yeah, one could
weird, I
surmise a
guess.
lot of races do have very similar skulls. This one you're pretty sure is human. It could be half elf or something like that, but just the general shaping of it seems fairly human. But yeah, there's a interesting quality to the brain case. Inside, it does have a sort of rainbowy, shimmery, milky white texture to it. When you move it around, it looks like the interior of a abalone shell.
I might need some context for that. I think I know what you're talking about, but I'll look that up later.
Oh, I'll get you one. No worries.
I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about. I'm just only the player is mildly confused.
Yeah,
But
I'm happy to
he's
share a reference. It's easy. Don't worry.
Leo kind of just like holds like after oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. That makes sense. Thank you. I do know what that is. I just
Yeah.
haven't.
For those watching,
I
I've
didn't
put
know
it
what
up
it
on
was
stream.
called.
Yeah, that's what the interior of an abalone shell looks like. So you can imagine that on the underside of the skull.
It's soup on the underside or on the inside?
Like the inside, sorry. Like if you took a skull, flipped it upside down, looked inside where a brain would be,
There
the
is
crap that surrounds
abalone
the
looking.
brain, it looks like abalone.
Yeah. Leo will just like look it dead in the eyes and say, "What are you?"
You receive no response. Acros, you don't feel anything different from the skull.
He does receive a response right behind him in a very creepy and ethereal voice. I am your father.
Oh, great! Then I have every right to smash you. Cool. And then Leo will just put it down on the cabinet. I think is what it was on. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah,
I was
it's a
looking for.
wardrobe.
Cabinet. Yeah. Well, I mean, we can't figure it out right now. I guess we'll just try and figure it out later.
Yeah, at this point. Thing is, it's not. It's weird. Like it's throwing off, like some sort of magical, like aura, but it's nothing that is.
Not identifiable.
Yeah.
Specific. It's got magic, but nothing specific. Got it. I kind of understand what you're talking about. Yeah, Leo will just put it back on the wardrobe, turn to Shuey, and just be like, "By the way, I have real distaste for whoever my father may be."
Why is that?
Looks at him in half elf. Looks at her in half elf. Why do you think?
Okay, fair enough. Touche.
So, I'll give you a brief overview. Yeah, glares in half elf. So, a while back, an elven gentleman came to town, spent some time at my auntie's place, and one day, during the winter, my mother and him got together, and then he left. And then my mother found out that she was having me and my sister. And then after that, nothing was heard about the gentleman, and honestly, my mother never told us who he is. All she said is that he was a handsome elvish gentleman. And Auntie also says the exact same thing. She refuses to tell us about it. And by the way, just so that you are aware, Auntie is not really my aunt, but that's just what we call her. That's what everyone calls her. And she runs a brothel in Baclamel. Correction, the brothel in Baclamel. One of the nicest buildings in town.
Okay. So, you know what? No, I'm not gonna say my first thought.
Yes, my mother was an actual whore.
Okay. I didn't want to be rude.
Don't worry about it. My mother was a great woman. She raised us as best as she could before she died, and Auntie took over where she left off. I love my family. I just don't love my father because he left my mother without anything else to you know. Again, my mom and Auntie probably know more, but even when we asked, she never told us, and then we just stopped asking. And I have no intention of asking because it's not important. Never was. Auntie always said family is what you make, not who you're born to or related to by blood.
Maybe,
If
but
my father could stand before me right now, and honestly, I wouldn't give two shits. He's not important. And if he was here, honestly, I would probably give him a swift kick between his legs.
not saying he doesn't deserve it, but maybe you shouldn't be so quick to dismiss your actual heritage. I mean, if nothing else, you're gonna live longer than the average human. You look mildly more handsome than the average human. And
that's funny, handsome. That's funny.
I'm curious. And also, elves have a strong affinity to nature and magics. So, and
Yeah.
my dad used to tell me stories about fey creatures and elves and that sort of thing. So, who knows? Maybe it's not all that bad. Like you said, you don't know the full story. Maybe it's.
I don't. The only elves that I have met were the one that I kind of met on the road one day, and this one, as he just points to Acarus. And it's not like he's ever been to Baclamel, so I know for a fact he isn't my father.
I believe I'm about your age, Leo, so that would be a bit of a feat.
That's for damn sure.
May I ask a personal question, Leo?
Sure.
How did your mom die? You said she died?
Yeah, she died. She died when we were pretty young. We were. I think she died when we were 8, if I recall. And we were young. She got sick, like real sick, one day, and she died. There wasn't any way to help her. She just, she just died.
And do I need an insight check to know what kind of, like, he's clearly remembering something, so do I
I'm gonna
need to
say
do an
no. I'm gonna
insight check
step in
to
and
see what sort
say,
of vibe he has going
Well,
on?
just
Like, how is
con-
he feeling right now?
consider that you barely know Leo, and you're kind of grilling him about his family's past, and no, he's being honest with you.
I'm not asking about like him not being honest. I'm just looking for a general vibe check. Like, how distressed is he about it? Is he like kind of, she died. It's been a long time ago. I learned to live by myself. Or is he like, oh no, my mom, she died. I need to hold back tears. That sort of vibe. Like, what's the spectrum, essentially? Like,
That's up to
what
Leo
she
to
meant.
answer. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's more of the it's in the past, he's over it now. He's not. It is upsetting to think about, but it's not like he's pressed, if that makes sense. He's just kind of like, it's in the past now. I'm over it. I lived through it. I mourned. Nothing more than that. Also, Acris, you're 22?
Icarus is in his 30s, so
Leo's 22.
okay.
Leo's just a little
The
baby.
point still stands, anyways. It's B
You're
of
both
8.
infants in terms of elven age, so
Yeah, I just, I'm just surprised, only a little. It's not like it's that big of a deal anyways. But yeah, it yes, it is sad. It is depressing to think about my mother and if she was alive today and all the other, things. But it's not like it's something I worry about it anymore. I have my sister. She's a lot like our mom. I have Auntie. She raised us. I don't have any complaints right now. Well, about my family. I have complaints, but nothing that comes from my family life, I guess you could say. I'm just, I'm just living. I have my mom to thank for that. I have my sister, who is as supportive as she can be to my, stuff. I have Auntie, who always gives me a place to sleep if I need it. I have a room. I have a roof if I need it. I try not to spend as much time there as I can, but I still spend my time there. The biggest complaint is that I keep forgetting that I'm missing an arm. Some days I wake up in a cold sweat because of what happened. But that wasn't their fault. That was the fault of somebody who is also now dead. Because I shoved his own sword through his back when they placed me atop a pile of bodies, and I climbed my way out and stabbed him.
Yui kind of takes a step towards Leo and just places a hand on his shoulder. Maybe like squeezing a little in a comforting gesture, and just says,
The shoulder with an arm, I assume?
I mean, sure. Well, maybe you'll find someone to be your missing right hand. Was it right hand or left one? I don't
Left.
remember.
He's missing his entire left arm.
So, yeah, maybe you'll find someone who'll be your left hand.
Someday, maybe. Right now, not worried about it.
Mm.
I mean, I've heard about people who get, crazy prosthetics and, they replace
that?
their arm. Replacement limbs. There's a guy in town, he's missing a leg and he has a peg, but I'm not getting a peg for an arm,
A hook would do better, you can hook things and that sort of thing.
Again, a hook would only work if I had an arm to attach it to. So to explain the missing arm, the arm itself was removed from the socket.
Okay, I got you. No need to go horrifically detailed in all the horrifics.
Oh, I've already done a horrifically detailed when I showed off to a rug. that was an interesting moment. But yeah, no, it's just there's just no arm there anymore. It's just his arm was removed from the socket. But yeah, I've heard about people who, have crazy prosthetics, but, I mean, heck, one day maybe in the far, far future, I'll find a magical wizard that'll just be like, I can fix you, and he'll just cast and I'll regenerate my missing eye, my missing scalp, my missing arm. But, that's if that ever happens.
Rev leaves the room and, I don't know, does something else.
Yeah, a rug has seen what Leo looks like under all of his clothes. I mean, so it's Sebastian, Guardian, and Shirsha, and all them, but, Anyways, this is,
Sounds intriguing. Why would you show...
I was giving a rug context for the people he was working for. The people he was working for
By
did this
stripping
to me.
Out of?
Yeah, it was to prove a point.
You stripped naked.
Not naked. I still had pants on.
Okay.
He didn't see what my legs were like, but he saw my chest, he saw my back, he saw what's underneath the bandages on my head. He saw my nails, my hands.
His back is scarred with a brand of the logo of the Cult of the Old Ones.
And that mark has a big gash through it.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I'll show you right now if you want me to, Shuey.
I don't want you to make. I believe you. I don't need the proof or anything. I'm just
gonna need. The only problem is that I'm gonna need, some assistance getting the bandages back on. Kind of
You
hard to do
sound-
one-handed.
You sound almost a little proud of the ordeal you went through.
I am proud I survived. Proud I
But
can
you're-
still breathe.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. You're kind of a bit eager to show off.
You seemed
guess.
curious. I don't care.
No,
They're
I was
scars.
just-
Why should I be scared of my scars? Sure, they make people uncomfortable, but it's not like they don't scare me. They scare everyone else. If I walked into town without, any of my coverings on, everyone would be like, you know?
Shui just shakes her head. It's not that they're scared. Getting naked is kind of not something you do socially, man.
Again, I wouldn't get naked. I would still have pants on. God.
That's a
Unless you wanted to see the scars on my legs, which I doubt. But I would still be able to keep my pants on for most of that.
That's a shame, considering you grew up in a place that didn't had much.
The ladies there still wore clothes. Sure, I've seen probably more titty than most people in my age. I mean, Teb hasn't seen his first titty.
Cool.
I mean, he probably did when he was a baby, but he doesn't remember that. I guarantee he has no recollection of his mother's titties.
Who are we talking about again?
My buddy Teb, we saved him from the cult a while back before we met. Anyways.
You, my man. You. She kind of looks back at.
I don't know anymore. I'm done.
At Guardian
Accurate.
and,
It's
and Accurate and everyone is like, is this guy like? Am I the only one who's kind of?
You're goading each other.
Yeah, I didn't start this, by the way.
Accurate is
Taking it to its full completion.
at some point during this conversation, I don't know when, Accurate would have just turned into a cat and is curled up on the bed.
This cute little cat sneaks on the
Howard.
bed.
If not Accurate would do the Homer Simpson, just slowly shift back out the door.
Anyways,
It is a
Let's
familiar
go.
looking cat to Leo.
let's
Look,
all
I think-
go. Let's just go to the cafeteria, and we can discuss next steps. How does that
Well-
sound?
What's the time of day, DM?
That's a hard question to
Approximate.
answer.
Yeah, it is. It's
Just-
always that question you don't want to hear in D&D.
No, what I'm saying is
Especially
you
when-
don't know because
Well,
of where
we're
you are.
also, yeah.
Yeah, the quote unquote temporal shift that has happened.
Well, I guess a proper question then would be, how long have we been awake?
Ah, for sure. I can answer that. It's probably bedtime or near it.
Yeah, considering the time we took with some of those bodies.
Yeah. No, you've
Well,
spent
I
a good amount of today touring the dungeon, finishing cleaning up, and doing that sort of thing. So it's late evening right now. if you were to talk about like time in the sense of how long you've been up.
So Shui
Is there
kind
a
of
thing over here that I'm missing?
Shui.
It looks like there's a gap over there. I'm just confused. That's all.
Nah, it's just wall. There's nothing there.
Okay. Probably just my screen then.
You mentioned the cafeteria.
Shui.
Yes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Cherry.
Hearing the suggestion to go to the cafeteria, Shui shrugs and goes, I mean, if you have family and a free place to sleep, I've mentioned before I'm kind of short on cash. I wouldn't mind a free bed.
I mean, you have one here now.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm not sleeping with dead people, thanks.
I don't mean sleeping in the same area as them. I mean in the other area, the first section of this.
When we press the...
No booze, so no thank you.
I mean, it's gonna take us a day to get back to town. If you really want booze that bad, you're gonna have to leave today, and then you're gonna be gone for like 2 days.
Yep.
I mean, the easiest thing to do, I guess, would be say, "Hey, a rug, go to town, get us a barrel of beer."
It'll still take him a day to get back there and back, if not more.
Exactly. So, you know,
I'm going to be sober tonight? Shit!
It'll do you some good, as of course comes out of wild shape.
She gets extremely pale and just starts pawing at her hips, looking for her what's the word?
Laugh.
Wineskin. Looking for a wineskin that isn't there because she drank it all last time.
The DM suggests that those who enjoy alcohol may need to transport alcohol wherever they are going.
Indeed.
Indeed.
And you stole all of Akorus's money, so he's got nothing.
I mean, you paid for both of us, and that's the extent of it. From what
No, I
remember.
never said that, Chewie. I said you took the money out of my coin purse.
I don't remember it that way. Walks off.
Sebastian would just be chuckling and just go, yes, the sober living. It's a harsh life, isn't it?
You know,
You have
Sebastian,
no-
Sebastian, I can't tell if you're being patronizing to them or not.
Hang on.
Don't worry about it.
Is that your catchphrase, by the way, now?
Hmm?
Just don't worry about it.
That was Guardian that said that last time.
Yeah.
Was it? Hang on.
Yeah.
Wait, it's a party motto! Shit!
Anyway, you know, Akris, since you
Yes.
were scoping out for any magical aura, maybe there's one other thing you could check.
Hmm?
Let's just go, find Crasted.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume that that time passes, you look around, you find Crested just kind of doing some menial cleaning tasks. Some final work
And
to the area.
yeah, I want to
Where
take
would you like to talk with him?
Crasted. Back in
In the
the room with the big button.
Okay. So that'll be the other map. just activate it for y'all.
Yeah, we make sure a rug also comes with us so he doesn't, get stuck in space.
Yeah,
Fair
we don't
enough.
lose life in space.
I mean, Karasta could survive up there, but solitude is not exactly something anyone should lean heavily into.
Yeah. So, the party all makes their way over to the. Oops, I totally goofed that up.
I don't remember that location.
Oh,
Is everyone loading into the new scene, by the way?
Yeah, for the most part. I'm still having my
Yeah.
problems, but
Cool. Just making sure.
nothing major, I guess.
So anyways, you all go back to the control room with a rug and Crasted in tow. And you are at the button.
Right. And Sebastian
Now
will.
that you've... Go ahead.
I was just
Sebastian?
saying now that Sebastian has Crested in here, and the room that has like all the crystals and everything in the cabinets, and he's also gonna take the necklace that he had remembered that he had found from one of the little bird people things, and lay that on the cabinets. Just say, I've spent a lot of time studying the arcane, but I don't quite have the innate ability to detect it. Maybe you can help out here.
her and any guess, Leo?
Nothing. I was just like, oh, yeah, the magic detection thingamajig.
1 second. No.
Crasted is humming a tune in the corner of the room.
Is it a recognizable tune?
No, it's just literally the music you're hearing right now.
Ah, okay.
Ekars will cast Detect Magic using a spell slot. I will be right back.
Okay. Well, I can't describe it if he's not here. We'll just say Akris sits down and lays out the items around him. He takes
Poke,
the necklace.
poke.
He takes the necklace from Sebastian, and any of the other items has Crasted sit down in front of him. Also reaches over or looks at Guardian and beckons to you for the button.
Hands over the Buton.
So the button is also in that same circle with Crasted, the crystal, all with Akris in the middle. He then casts Detect Magic.
And Sebastian is just gonna be kind of like watching intently, and then like just put his hand out on Shui's and like lower their hand, just like stop, like poking.
Wait, it's part of the ritual. It's helping.
Yeah,
I swear to God.
I said it wasn't a ritual cast. It was a regular.
Okay.
Um,
Well, she still pokes your cheek.
Can you not do that, Chewie? I've told you this multiple times.
But it helps every time I do it.
No, it does not. And the next time you do it, you.
I think if your friend says to not do it, you should stop.
Akris, if
Yes.
in front of you, to the right of you, you are sitting down, either on your knees or on your butt, up to you. You have the necklace with the crystal on it from Sebastian. To your to your right, to your left, you have the button from Guardian that opens and closes the doors. In front of you, you have Crasted sitting down,
Mm-hmm.
and you detect cast magic. You sense a commonality between everything in this room that is of interest. Between the button on the ground, the one in the cabinet, or on the cabinet, I should say, Crasted himself,
Mm-hmm.
and the necklace to the right. They all share a common magic.
Would Icarus know what kind of magic?
Good question. Unlikely. Feel free to roll me a history check.
It's a kind of magic. Oh. Sorry.
13.
You have no idea. You do know that they are linked in some form. There's somewhat of a resonance between all four of those objects, and including the crystals within the cabinet, though it's mostly concentrated in that one button. Yeah, there is indeed something similar between all of them. I will say there's a distinct difference between what is within Guardian's backpack. It does not have the same quality to it.
Okay. Huh.
Sebastian would be kind of just standing back, like arms crossed, kind of stroking his paper. Just... Anything?
The buttons, crested, and the necklace all share a similar type of magic. What it is, however, I cannot tell.
Hmm.
Not sure if that's of any help to you.
Yeah, I suppose it may be helpful down the road, being aware that of the connection, or the commonality. Unfortunately, don't have quite all the answers yet.
Indeed. At some point, we'll
Maybe
find
if-
them.
Maybe if we find someone of more extensive arcane talents, I guess, like an old wizard or something, and we can show this place to them.
Well, I think
Yeah.
at this point, I think the only other place I could think where we may find more answers would be Aronia.
Which is our next stop after I mean, once we're done here, we're gonna, I guess, take some time to figure out what our next move is. I mean, we've got we still got less than a month until we still got like almost 3 weeks till the snow melts, and that's when I suggest we head for Aronia. But you know, we can still head there sooner if anybody wants to go there. Like, I don't know, in a couple of days, I would suggest that we grab some supplies for the road before we head out.
We do
Not
know
a bad
at
idea.
least we do know at least one other who seems quite eager to get to Aronia. He's gonna look at Crasted.
Yeah, that's one reason why we should probably head there. But yeah, we've got, you know, we can like I said, we can head there sooner or we can head there later. Honestly, it's up to everybody here. I mean,
I
what do
need
y'all think?
alcohol.
You
The
can
good word will-
survive a couple days without alcohol, Shui.
Maybe.
Don't mind them; they overreact. They can be sober.
No,
Oh, I'm sure they could, but you know, it's not something we need to. It's not like we have to worry about that right now. I'm going to look at a rug. Hey, a rug.
Yeah.
Couple quick things. This is just in case of you know, stuff happens, I guess. I know we've got, you know, some supplies here and everything, but since you're gonna be here a while, I figured Leo will hand him 10 gold in case you like start running low on food or anything, you know, take the cart to town, use this to pick up some food.
Well, I can hunt, but thank you. And maybe someday
It's
I'll
just
get a
in
beer
case.
or a pastry or one of those nice things at the store.
Exactly. You can, you know, take your time and, you know, well,
And definitely
this is
alcohol.
just in case we're gone longer than, you know, a couple of weeks, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. I just want to make sure that you got, you know, at least enough to help yourself when, you know, in case like hunting's getting a little hard because there was like a blizzard and you're running low on food, and then you head to town, you pick up some good food from town. It's just in case, you know.
His eyes sort of glaze over as you're describing these things. He responds with, I'll be a happy, good station captain, don't you worry.
I know, bud. It's
Maybe
taking
stock up
care
on
of a
some
friend is important. Got to make sure that you're taken care of so that you can take care of this. Being
Yeah.
station captain is a heavy responsibility after all. Got to
That
make sure
makes
that you're taken
sense.
care of.
I would have a difficult time picking this place up. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I would need at least 50
Leon
kobolds.
realizes that it probably just went over his head just a little bit. Whatever. But yeah, so that's taken care of. We can rest here for the night. We've already spent a few days here cleaning up. We can take the rest of the time to clean up the rest in the other section, or we can head to town, pick up supplies tomorrow. Really up to you guys.
It is very late night. You are still in orbit, as it were.
Oh, Leo leans over, presses the button.
Everything goes fucky for a second. The new folks are slightly less queasy this time, and then it returns to normal, and you don't hear any humming beneath you, and that's it.
We'll never get used to this. Ugh.
Yeah,
No.
trust me, it's not something you want to get used. It's not something that's easy to get used to. I get it. But yeah.
We need to see if there's a way if we can do it without having it feel like we're about to all lose our lunches.
Or
I
dinners.
I think properly bracing ourselves is probably a good option. Making sure that we're in a comfortable position before we take the gift, I guess.
I think lift is the correct word.
Folks, you are back in Zocheclgoth.
And yeah, now we are, we're back underground, so that's a thing. Hey, Rug, I did have a question that I forgot to ask while we were still up there.
I like questions.
Is there a way to get down into the facility, I guess? Like we didn't see any steps down.
What do you mean down?
Like, you know that humming that's below us when we're up there? Like, do you know how to get to that humming?
Nope. The acid pit goes to the open sky when it's up there. And other than that, I don't know.
Wait, so this is player trying to compute. When the place shifts, the acid pit disappears and just is a hole into nothingness?
So DM's going to respond as plainly as possible. So the stairs that go down to the acid pit, they have a hole that goes downwards. The acid pit is located in the dungeon, underground. When the place is in space, that is actually a ladder that goes outside, but downwards.
I have another place to look at when we go back up there again later. I so many questions. There's still more that we haven't explored, and I just realized this. Anyways, that's for later. By the way, Rug, were you here when... Was the acid pit already here, or did they add that?
No, it's here.
Oh, it was already here, okay. So... Huh. Wonder if there's anything on the other side of that acid pit. Or is it just a pit that leads into the ground?
I'm pretty sure it's just a pit that goes into the cave dirt. And that's it. I wouldn't swim in it. I would become a sizzly orc real fast.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't want to swim down there either. I'm just curious if there was anything, you know?
Not
Curiosity and cats and all that.
Cats. Wasn't your friend a cat a minute ago?
I mean, yeah, he was.
That's cool.
It certainly is.
Well,
Anywho, I think it's about time that we start headed for bed, everybody.
who would like to sleep? Where do you care? There is a camp in the cave above you. That was kind of being used by the cult and that you have used before. Otherwise, I guess you could pick a spot here in the dungeon. Up to you.
I mean, I think sleeping in the cave is a better option. There's, supplies and stuff out there, and maybe if Shearsha is available, she can sing us a lullaby.
Not a terrible idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I guess we head to the cave.
Okay. Fine with me.
I mean, it's already prepped and ready for, sleep area, basically. So,
As well, yeah.
might as well use the space that's available. And, if anybody comes in from the outside, they'll, see us first, essentially.
Yeah. So you make your way through the dungeon and you come to the stairs, climb up the stairs, and you have entered in through the store building in the back. There are fire pits around, some sleeping bags out, a cooking station with some stones pulled around it for benches, and a few carts for carrying goods.
Ah,
Make yourselves comfortable.
yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Feel free to roll a long rest. It is nighttime.
GM.
Uh-huh.
Woo!
Can I have an exhaustion point?
Would you like you would like an exhaustion point?
Yeah, because I feel like sleeping without her usual crutch for the first time in a while is gonna give Shui a hard time.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. What the heck is exhaustion?
Exhaustion due to lack of alcohol.
Yeah.
I could stop anytime I want.
I swear it's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please
Mhm.
please do remind me about her alcoholism in places like this and exhaustion. Yeah. Go ahead and roll your long rest.
That's cool.
Righty.
Did you find the button?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to roll because nothing changed in my character, but sure.
Okay.
You can
Yeah,
do it.
sure. No, it's fine. I just making sure.
Yep.
Okay. You all sleep soundly. Wait, hold up. What am I doing? It doesn't keep doing that. There we go. Guardian.
Mhm.
You have a little sleepy time. Nightmare.
Oh.
I think we need to pull into a chat.
Oh.
Um,
Had the bad sleepies?
sleepies.
Hello.
That was
hello
cool.
there.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Welcome to daytime. Everybody, you slept well? Well, except for one of you. And it's a bright and shiny morning. The fires in your little pits are out, but there is some residual light coming in from the entrance of the cave. Yeah, welcome to a new day.
All right. So, now that everybody's awake, properly rested and everything, I hope, at least for the most part.
Mhm.
What is everybody's thoughts about what we should do next? I guess.
Coffee. As Shui just stands up from her like resting place, pale in the face, bags under the eyes, and just red. Like the eyes themselves are just like red popped, sort of thing. Something to wake up.
I guess
Well, I
we'll just have
think
to wait for Shui until she's ready to do whatever. But since at least the three of you have consciousness, what do y'all think we should do next? We have a list of things we can do. I just want to, make sure everybody's like on the same page about what we want to do next.
I just don't know at this point. I still think we should make sure that others don't find this location, so I would be more fond of continuing with setting up the lodge, but if there's other precedents, I'm more than okay to do whatever, honestly.
I mean, yeah, again, we have several options. Like, we can stay here, finish setting this up, and then when Pokes and Freedom get their are done with their apprenticeships, we can have them here and start,
Yeah,
dealing with that, I guess.
yeah,
But,
I'm also
that'll be
go ahead.
that'll be, by the time the thaw happens.
I'm also a little bit more concerned about the group that originally owned this place too. If we sit around for too long, where they might try something as well. Because I mean, for the most part, this place only had mostly orcs and kobolds. We didn't really run into too many humans, but
There were several. There were
several.
like,
Well, I mean, several, yes, but we are not sure if that is all of them, you know?
oh, it definitely
As-
wasn't all of them.
Yeah, and I'm
The
just.
ones that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Now, I was interrupting you. I apologize.
I was just saying it is the case also that if we sit around too long, if there are other groups that have a hold of something similar to whatever this structure is, then I'm worried they might either find some use out of it or do something, because I'm sure at some point they're going to come and try to investigate this place and figure out if what has happened. And I don't know, there's honestly quite a few things that we can do, but it just I'm a bit
Well,
divided, I should say, honestly.
this is the question for the group. What do you think our next step should be, Guardian?
I honestly don't know. To be frank, ideally I would like to keep moving and do what we can, but obviously if we move around too much, especially with the conditions that are now, it just make things a little bit more tedious. But I would rather go off the opinions of others. Admittedly, I'm not typically we usually leave up the decisions of traveling or whatnot to the pathfinders, and I'm not I am not one of those.
I mean, I will make sure to mention this. It'll take us right now, if we were to leave right now, it'll take us almost 2 weeks just to get to Aronia. If we wait till till the month runs out, it'll only take us less than a week. But again, we are staying here to wait out, the thaw for the amount of time it would take us to get there, essentially.
I know. That's why I'm saying leave it up to. It doesn't matter to me, honestly. That's why I'm saying leave it up to the others.
I just want to make sure that you have your opinion shared.
I trust the capabilities of the people that are with me. If I do have a stake or I need to say what I need to say, then I will put in my input. It's unfortunately these are just matters that I'm not exactly best on deciding. I would rather leave.
There is the other route I will mention, but it's a dangerous path, to put it simply. And also, it'll take us a little over a week to get there. If we take it's faster, more dangerous, but again, that's still a little more than a week to get there. And, the possibility of death upon the path.
Okay. GM question.
DM has an answer.
How long until the snow melts?
3 weeks. That's complete melt, to be honest. So, like, you're not super... Winter is ending, basically, at the moment. You're not dealing with the most intense of snow right now. But it's there.
Okay.
The blizzards are over.
I, for one, am unsure how long we can sit around and wait.
Also, be aware that you are at the foothills of the mountains, where things tend to be snowy for longer. The Aronia is a coastal town, like, on the ocean.
Well, so...
Have less.
I mean, I will make sure to say this. If we stay here to finish cleaning out this place for the rest till, I don't know, the end of the week, take care of the dead that are, here, and by the time, and we go back to town, get supplies for the trip, and then we leave for Aronia. And then by the time we get to Aronia on the safe path, then, by the time we leave and come back, it'll be faster because the snow will have thawed. But again, we're going to be here a week. And, we're still going to need to go to town tomorrow to go pick up supplies so that, we can stay here a while. But that'll give us a week to finish setting up here. And then, what's the word? Then we can travel.
I mean, that is fair. We should.
I'm just saying that's something we can do. We can stay here a week, finish cleaning, get our supplies, and, head to Aronia after, we're done cleaning up here, essentially. Or, any of the other options.
I'm definitely leaning towards agreeing on the fact that it's probably making sure that this isn't left unkempt. It might be a good idea to at least finish up this task.
And a rug will be here, obviously. He can take care of the anything else that might need to get taken care of while we're gone.
True, but it's...
I know, leaving him here alone is kind of a problem as well. I get it. I don't want to leave him alone, but he does have friends in town, so he's not completely alone. He can always head back to town if he needs to.
I mean, fair, but I don't.
If we come back and this place is a cultist den again, all that means is that we're just gonna have more bodies to throw into an acid pit.
I mean, if we can... I don't think we should be praying for more people that fall to an idea that is very unkempt to be... We shouldn't be praying for more of them to happen. We should be making sure that they don't arrive to that conclusion and then have to force ourselves to fight them if we can help it.
Well, here's kind of how I see it. The 3 guys that we found when we came back after we saved Teb, before we cleared out the rest, the 3 guys that, I already threw in the acid pit, by the way. Those guys had essentially a message. Oh, also, Shirsha is also willing to stay here with a rug, so, he definitely wouldn't be alone. And Shirsha did already get her share of the booty. But, anyways, so those guys came here because these guys weren't following the majority of the cultist rulings, if that makes sense.
The group.
I understand. It's just one of those. I'm just concerned as I'm not doubting their capability or anything. I'm just more so concerned about them.
Of course, and that makes sense. Believe me, I'd be worried about them too. I am less worried about Shirsha and Arug together. I am worried about both of them alone, but since Shirsha is willing to stay here, then honestly, that'll be better in a way, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I I Sebastian, do you have any opinions? Shui, Acarus, any opinions? By the way, just so that you are aware before I state anything, when we go to Aronia, we're possibly going to come across more cultists. Just to make sure to state that.
Okay, so just to clarify a few things, we obviously don't want the cultists to reclaim this place, right?
Well, yeah. But they're gonna have a hell of a time reclaiming it anyways. The last people that came here are, dead.
Exactly. Now, it
The
seems
the
like
la-
the guys have a problem with deciding on priorities in terms of best course of action. So I'm kind of the new guy here, the new girl.
I mean,
So
I'll say I already know what I wanna do, but I want to make sure that everyone else is okay with I want to see what everyone else wants to do. It's not like I'm the leader here or anything. I mean, I can stand up and be a leader, but I suck at leading. If anything, Guardian's the leader here.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think there was really too much of a leader role in this group anyway. I think it was more of general concession.
This is true.
So, if you want to protect this place from the cult, there are two ways you can go about it, from what I heard you speak about. You either go to their base of operations, which is Oronia, immediately, setting off now through the snow with low supplies and not sure what to expect exactly.
I would think that we wouldn't go right now. I think the smart decision would be gather supplies and then head to Aronia.
Okay, there's that. Or you purposefully let them come here. And this time around, we use the advantage of having weapons that we can maybe even recruit the townsfolk to assist us with. Maybe help them train with those weapons and lure the cult, and together with the townspeople, annihilate them completely
That's if
on our on home turf, on this home turf, rather than going to their home turf.
I mean, that's if they decide to send more people. I mean, they probably
I
will.
mean,
The chances are definitely not zero that they won't send more people, but
I can think of a few ways to be goading enough to persuade them.
I mean, sure. I mean, a cultist could walk into town, go into the blacksmith shop, and might be able to actually no, because they wouldn't have seen the weapons anyways. They would just.
Why? Why would? No. You're overcomplicating.
Well, of course
You
I'm
have.
overcomplicating. I'm overthinking.
Yeah. All we need is to have somebody deliver them a message. Someone they couldn't pass up the opportunity to punish for something, like somebody they've been culling for the past however long they've been culling, like elves and other non-humans. Like if say they heard that their like branch here got overrun by non-humans, they would amass and enlarge and come here, and then we could
Would they
spring the trap.
though?
I mean,
Again, if we're it's gonna take time to prepare all of that as well, and we're going to have to tell the
acceptably.
townspeople and convince them that there might be an army of cultists coming here.
I mean, it's probably less of an army and more of a band, but sure. I mean, here's the thing: if I learned that a cult was trying to slaughter the people in my home, I'd pick up arms, I'd pick up a pitchfork and a torch and be the first there to, call them instead. You wouldn't need much convincing other than making sure they realize it's a threat to their homes and their peaceful lives.
I mean, we've already spread around town the rumor about the cult. By now, everyone in town knows that there was cultist activity here. I mean,
Hear me out. One
yeah,
one
there's
thing is,
literally a living witness to what happened here.
one thing is when you know there's a cult somewhere in the outskirts operating, and you can hope for the best and live surely slightly concerned perhaps, but knowing that you don't have to like be dangerous about it and just not go off of your trodden paths. You know what I mean? And then there's a different kind of perspective where they would realize um, that the cult is actively coming there for a punishment to exact vengeance.
True,
That's a
but
different vibe that the townsfolk would have to rally up, I guess, at wager.
we would have to rally a town of what? The population of Baklamel is like maybe 200 people?
700.
Oh, 700. You're gonna have to rally 700 plus people and tell
Not
them,
everyone, only volunteers and able-bodied people, while the women and the children and the elderly are protected somewhere often in a safe place, like our little,
space station. Yeah, I get it.
exactly. And
mean-
then we surely
Go
it's
ahead.
not either way. It's either way. You take more than a week to travel to the location of the base of the cultists. You don't know how many there are there. You don't know what sort of defenses they have. Have dangers on the way there. You'll have to stock up on supplies. You'll be exhausted by the time you get there and tired from traveling. Whilst here you'll have the home advantage. You'll have people on your side, and it'll be them who'll be going into the unknown, and not us. See what I mean?
I
Crested.
do. Go ahead, bud.
Bud? Don't call me Bud. Crested.
I was referencing Crested, I'm sorry.
Okay. Crested pipes up and says, Aronia is not run by the cult. It's where I grew up. It's friends. It's a good town.
Well, a good town that has a den of cultists, apparently, from what you guys told us.
That's
As
what
does
we
Baklamel.
understand.
Or did.
Mm.
We are a small port town. There's no real place for them there. At least not that we know of. My head has been knocked around a bit.
Yeah, and it has been a while since you were there, I assume.
A year at most.
A lot could happen in a year, though.
True. I still hold on to the hope that my family's alive, though. Where, though?
And-
No idea. I have been all over this region and can't seem to find them.
Question, your family, Crested, are they like you or are they like us?
I guess they're mostly
What
like
does that mean?
Shersha. They're small, but more like you.
Oh, okay. So, halflings or gnomes. Got it.
Sure. They never
Or-
really told me. I never asked. It didn't really ever come up. There's,
I mean,
I don't know.
it's not important. Family is family. I get it. But, yeah, so... I guess I don't know. Some of the things we can do. I mean, we can take our time here and prepare this place and the town for a possible cultist invasion, if that's the way we want to say it. And we prepare them for, you know, a cultist invasion and possible cultist invasion or something, I guess. We tell them about the dungeon and say, hey, in case of an emergency, everyone should head here. It's a safe place. It can't, like, send the young, the old, the sick, etc. here. Bam. Everything, you know, the emergency plan that we were basically planning on letting everybody know about anyways. Problem is, moving that amount of people here is still going to take at least like a day's travel, because it's a day for us to go from here back to Baklamel. And if we're moving sick and elderly and children and all that, it's going to take at least 2 days to do that. I'm not saying don't tell, like, I'm not saying, like, you know, we don't tell them that, hey, we have a possible emergency shelter, you know. There's no, like, head honcho leader of, like, the people of Baklamel, is there?
Chain of
The
Aduta
mayor.
is your best bet. There is no mayor. There is no decider of things here. People just sort of live collectively there. But people do tend to look to her for wisdom, or maybe it's just because she serves drinks. She's respected by pretty much everybody there.
We could tell her for sure. She'd definitely be able to spread the word around in case, like, if the townspeople are going to listen to anybody, it's going to be her. So, I mean,
Okay, so we get her on board, we see what she thinks. If she thinks it's a viable option, we go ahead if we're all in accord, and if not, we'll try the old-fashioned way of storming a city across the frozen snows and, well, not a city, a coastal town, and locating a possible cult den that terrorizes that place, or not. We don't know because we've never been there.
I mean, we'll find out when we get there, that's for sure.
Are we? Is that for sure? What if they're deep underground and secretive?
I mean,
Then I mean, I can walk through town saying, "Fuck the old ones. Come and get me, you pieces of shit cultists," or something. I don't know. I'll have to improvise on that. That's just a
Yeah.
improv on that one.
Oh,
I-
we need you alive, man. Don't
I-
do anything.
I think it might be better for us to just maybe ask around anyone and see if they've seen anything suspicious, rather than just going around saying that kind of stuff. Because
Yeah, I agree with that.
I feel like that would draw more attention to us.
I'm just saying, I can be bait as like a last resort. Obviously, I'm not saying I'm gonna do it as soon as we get there. I'm just saying, like, we go there, we investigate, see if like the missing persons is like, you know, how they are on missing persons, if they are missing people. And, you know, we'll figure it out once we get there, is basically what I'm saying.
What are your
Okay,
thoughts,
so
Crasted?
Sorry, what's that, Sebastian?
Saying, what are your thoughts, Crasted?
Crasted puts his arm up to his chin, mimicking thought, and it turns to you all and says, I feel a strong urge to go back to Aronia. I don't know if the cultists will be coming back, but I know I need to get home. They tore me apart. They tore my family apart. Aquamel seems safe-ish to me, but I feel like maybe telling more people is a good idea. I don't know your people.
Okay, so for today, if that's what we'll be doing, if we're gonna lay out a plan today, we head to Baklamel, we talk to Teb's mom, tell her the situation, she starts spreading the word throughout town. Because as soon as you tell her, hey, spread this around town, she'll spread it and it'll spread like wildfire, I'm sure. It's not like it's a big town. And then, you know, we gather up supplies, head for Aronia. How's that sound?
Crasted nods. That seems reasonable.
I think we're in agreement.
Okay.
Yep, that sounds about right.
So, let's pack up our shit, head for Baklamel, and thinking we'll leave Shirsha here temporarily so that she can, you know, keep an eye on the place. She can hide in a barrel easy enough. Nobody will notice her in case cultists show up. We bring a rug, buy some supplies for him and Shirsha. And if there's anything in particular she wants to make sure she gets, you know, she can get it. As she can have a rug pick it up. I mean, Shirsha for sure has money, so you know. We take a rug back to town. He picks up supplies, brings them back here. He's gone a day tops, you know, 2 days. He's gone 2 days tops. Comes back. Him and Shirsha can, you know, finish the cleanup here, take care of the dead bodies, and he kind of like clicks his tongue and points to the sky. They can clean that up, and then, you know, we gather our supplies, talk to Teb's mom, and head to Aronia. Sound like a plan, everybody?
Nods. Crested nods. Shearsha nods.
Okay. He can't clap. That's my bad. I'm an idiot. He smacks his hand on his knee. All right, let's get going. Leo grabs his pack and is ready to head back to Baklamel.
Knee
Anybody?
slapper.
He only has one hand.
No, I know. Arug walks over and grabs a cart and starts dragging it up out of the cave.
I'm just picturing Leo trying to go for like the motion of a clap and then like forgetting.
He did.
Stopping
did.
And then
midway.
just like slapping his chest.
Yeah, you
Oh
did
my God.
you did see him. He went to like, clap his hands together like, all right, meeting adjourned. And then he just like stops shit, and then he smacks his leg like, all right, let's get going.
Actually, you know what? Shui is there to be the left hand.
It's already happened. The moment's already passed.
God damn it.
Not for the future, though, however.
Literally just standing behind Leo at all times, and anytime like he needs his left arm for something, she'll just like poke her left arm like behind him.
Alrighty,
Eh.
so
Everybody is heading out of the cave. On their way to Baklamel, it is a bright and shiny morning. Step out into the gleaming sun, the frozen, crispy ground, as the snow is beginning to become more melty and icy, going through those cycles. And the party begins walking their way towards Baklamel. Is there any last things anybody would like to do? It is near closing time, so we may as well. It feels like a good stopping point. Anything else? Or are we good?
Well, in town, there's maybe some shopping to be done, but other than that,
Oh,
no.
of course. That's just going to take far longer than 15 minutes. So,
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for watching and participating in Zotian Epoch episode 10. I thank you all, and I hope that you have a lovely 2 weeks. Experience awesome things and happiness and community and all that good shit. Peace out and sauerkraut. I'll see you around.
bye.